Hi, welcome to my video on our recent trip to Tel Aviv. Keep watching if you want to see our wonderful and exciting foodie and sightseeing experience in Tel Aviv as we explore the local places. We visited Tel Aviv in Israel in April 2018 with our family, 2 kids and my husband. So Tel Aviv, it's a modern, vibrant and cosmopolitan city. It's the second most populous city in Israel after Jerusalem, but it couldn't be any more different to Jerusalem. As I said, it's very modern, vibrant, cosmopolitan. Hedonism is their main religion, and it's the bustling Mediterranean version of Manhattan. There are so many hip places and restaurants and new places opening up all around the city in Tel Aviv, and there's always a party going on somewhere. Now, it's located on the country's Mediterranean coastline, and it's the financial and the technological center of the country. And Tel Aviv basically has the 3rd largest economy in the Middle East after Abu Dhabi and Kuwait City. And they receive between 2.5 to 3 million visitors, international visitors annually, and it's always growing. So it's definitely a great destination for young people and families, and they speak English all around the city, so it's very easy to travel around and explore and enjoy the place. So we started off the first day of our trip by grabbing a breakfast at Bar Ochel. So Bar Ochel is a nice little breakfast lunch cafe type located in the middle of the Carmel Market. It's the definition of simple market fare. The dishes served here, they are coming directly from the market, and they're focused on meat, grilled vegetable and salad. So they're seating outside and inside. We grabbed a stool at the bar once, and then the second time we actually sat inside. And the atmosphere is great inside or outside. They got English menu, which was great. So we tried the shakshuka, the famous shakshuka, and the kebab. They were both lovely. The shakshuka obviously came with the fresh crusty bread and the salad dips. It's basically a North African dish of poached eggs in tomato sauce, and we also had it with sausage as an extra, and it was delicious. We went twice, that's how good it was. We also had the lemonade and the coffee. The coffee is amazing. I think it's the best coffee we had in Tel Aviv. So yeah, definitely if you're in Tel Aviv, this is one of the must-try places. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10 for the food and the atmosphere. The customer service was just amazing. The waitress really paid attention to us, gave us loads of tips. So yeah, it was a really great experience. So after the breakfast, we actually just walked around Carmel Market. It is big. So it's one of probably the most famous market in Tel Aviv, called Shuk Carmel, and it's really popular with locals and tourists. So you'll see tourists as wandering around, looking at the market as a side, but you also see the locals shopping for their daily stuff that they need, from fruits, vegetables, other household items, etc. But Tuesdays and Fridays, they are the busiest days to go. So try and avoid these days if you can. So Fridays they close a bit early at 4 o'clock, and it's closed on Saturday. So something to bear in mind. And yes, it's definitely a really, really great experience. We bought those African sweets from there, fruits. We bought jam, even wine from one of the shops. They have flowers, they have dates. We bought some dates from Carmel Market. It was really delicious. So they also have loads of different spices, different types of olives, which were really good. Sauces, oils, different salad, fish, meat, pretty much everything that you would see in a proper big market. next day we did a day trip to Dead Sea. So we had our hired car, so we just drove down with the two kids. So it's about 2.5 drive from Tel Aviv city center. So we drove down to visit the beach there. So the beaches, there are several beaches there, and they're mineral rich and full of salt water. So you'll be floating in the waters. And yes, it's just enjoy the view that we had as we drove down. We did stop a few times. The Dead Sea is on the border of Israel and Jordan, and it's the lowest point on earth. It's an absolutely crazy landscape to discover, and it was well worth the drive that we did. So we hired a car during the whole period that we were in Tel Aviv. So it was really good because with two kids, it was definitely worth driving on our own. With the kids, it was much easier and more flexible for us in terms of time and stops and stuff like that. for dinner called Miznon. It's in Tel Aviv city center, and we've got a few other branches in Tel Aviv. So we actually had a steak sandwich in the pita, and another deep satisfaction sandwich in the pita. You see the menu there, and cauliflower for the side. Now, the food was really good, which is why I gave it 9 out of 10. Really tasty, very fresh, and the atmosphere was fantastic. Like, if you don't mind the loud music, and also it is crowded, so if you're coming with kids like we did, it might be a little bit tricky, but we actually enjoyed it. The kids didn't mind the loud music, and you know, we really enjoyed the atmosphere, and the customer service was really good. You do have to go and order at the bar, so it's more like self-service. Same for the salads, self-service. This place, Miznon, is recommended in a lot of places online, including the TimeOut. So it's by this sort of celebrity chef, Eyal Shani. So he's kind of redefining the pita, basically, with all these nice options for the filling, from the meaty minute steak, which is really rich, to shakshuka and the chicken liver and the kebabs. There are loads of vegan options. So as I said, we had the cauliflower, but they have ratatouille, etc. So definitely, I would say if you're in Tel Aviv, a must-try place. So the next day we had lunch / late breakfast at the Streets Cafe on the corner of King George and Hanavi. It's one of the busiest cafes in the city, where you see a lot of locals, a mixed crowd from high schoolers to people working on their laptops to moms with their pushchairs. It's good quality and very keeping it real. Great atmosphere. So it's nice to sit there, have lunch in the busy corner in the heart of Tel Aviv. Food is a bit pricey than your average neighborhood cafe, but I think it's overall it's worth a visit.
Thank you.
So we visited Night Kitchen. So this is a really nice restaurant in Tel Aviv's trendy and the eclectic Lillian Blum Street. It's a very nice, intimate place with a lot of charm, so you feel more comfortable at home. It's been around for a few years, but it feels like it's been around for a long time. It's got that old feeling to it. So it's created by Chef Eyal Dayan. The menu is quite extensive. They've got a wide range of starters, salads, pasta, fish, meat, etc. So you've got a lot to choose from. But a lot of people, I think, tend to go for the tasting menu, which is about 150 Israeli shekels per person. So you basically, let the chef choose what you want. In the menu, it does say you get like 2 or 3 choices for each starter, main, and dessert. But I think it's a fantastic way to taste the menu from the place. Yep, it's definitely one of those must-visit places. It's got a great atmosphere, and the waitress that served us, she just was great at customer service and took her time to explain all the details about the dishes and the drinks, and letting us know what's coming. And the one thing I forgot to mention is with the tasting menu, it does include drinks, so you can have wine, beer, or sangria, and also you get a certain discount on the cocktails. I think it was 50%. So it's definitely worth if you want to go for the tasting menu. can see the Jaffa Clock Tower, which is one of the 7 clock towers built in the Palestinian during the Ottoman period. Tel Aviv is a city that never sleeps, and its promenade, especially the Jaffa promenade along the beach, is very meticulously manicured and maintained. Tel Aviv has like 318 days of sunshine, and its promenade is always clean, well equipped, and lots of attractions, beautiful people, good restaurants and cafes, and there's always public events along the beach and loads to do. So as you can see, it's just beautiful, beautiful, warm sunshine and the weather and the sea. So the next day we had our lunch at this restaurant called Santa Katarina behind the Great Synagogue of Tel Aviv. This is one of the many hotspots in town. The chefs prepare pizzas, focaccias, delicious pastries from the large stone oven that they brought over from Italy. The rest of the menu, which includes meat and so forth, is just amazing, with all kinds of Italian dishes with a local twist. So you can take a seat at the bar or outside on the terrace, listen to some great music they've always got going on, and enjoy the amazing young and the hip crowd that the place attracts. The pizzas here are wonderful, so are the fish, the seafood, and the meat. I personally highly recommend the weekday lunch specials because they're very generous and very reasonable priced in the city. So we grabbed dinner at this restaurant, which I'm so sorry, but I forgot to write down the name. So this is just behind the street where the Carmel Market is. So we were initially trying to go to the M25 on that day, but that place was fully booked out, so we ended up having dinner here. It's really nice, very cozy, selection of pizzas and salads and good beers. So it's a very casual, cozy place to grab dinner, or if you come during the day for breakfast or lunch. Abu Hassan, so we actually had our breakfast here once. It's one of Israel's oldest and most famous hummus restaurants, located in the Dolphin Street in Jaffa. It's been rated best hummus restaurant in Israel in many lists, so you'll see this name pop up whenever you Google online on travel guides and websites. So the restaurant is famous for its loyal crowd of Jews and Arabs, laborers and tourists. They're all sitting side by side, and because it's very cramped and only a few tables inside, and there's usually a long line as well, especially due at exactly around noon time. So the hummus was founded by a guy called Ali Karavan, also known as Abu Hassan, hence the name of this restaurant. And the menu is very limited. They serve only 4 basic courses: hummus, masabaha, brown beans, and laban, and dishes that combine them. Definitely one of the highlights of our trip. Very, very, very good hummus. So we went to this cafe place called Magosa Cafe in Old Jaffa. This is a very cute and very pretty cafe in a very pretty street. Great for fresh cakes and locally made bread and coffee. So it's a very typical but modern Jewish cafe. Great atmosphere. I think it's one of the highly recommended cafes that we went to during our trip there. So we visited this shop called ZIELINSKI and ROZEN in Old Jaffa. So those missing their neighborhood apothecary themed perfume shop, they will love this place. It's a husband and wife duo that have jumped on the ever popular bandwagon and crafted this fragrant pharmacy of soaps and candles and diffusers and shower scents, perfumes, etc. So it's a custom made to order items. So visitors can sit in the laboratory type shop and choose from a wide variety of unusual scents to create the perfume or the product that they want, which is utterly unique. So we were in the Levinsky area in the neighborhood of Florentine. So we had a coffee at this place called Coffee Roasters. Sometimes they're called Cafe Licks. It's a small coffee shop with great atmosphere, really nicely done inside. It's just a hip place to grab coffee and just spend some time in your laptop or Wi-Fi, etc. So yeah, it's a nice place to grab coffee if you're in the Levinsky area. The Lewinsky Market, also known as the other major shuk in Tel Aviv after Carmel Market, it's a very authentic market surrounded by South Tel Aviv hipsters. It's basically a gourmet's paradise with its range of flavors, spices, nuts, dry fruits and fusion cuisines. So it's a place that you should definitely visit and just walk along all the roads and buy all this whatever takes your fancy. lunch at Arepas. Now, this is in the heart of the Carmel Market. It's Venezuelan cuisine, which stands out through its appetizing smells and the welcoming staffs. There are only very few seats, so it's more like grab and go or quick eating. But it's a really great place. They serve griddle bread stuffed with chicken and cheese, to corn maze pockets of shredded beef, black beans, avocado and cheese, which basically adds to that melt in your mouth crispy finish. So the menu options are very diverse, and you can basically combine the right flavors to suit to your liking. Ice cream at this place called Anita. It's in the posh, really nice Nev Sedek area. It's very beautiful in there. So Anita is basically a boutique ice cream. Basically, their ice creams are 100% handmade from natural ingredients, and they claim to have over 150 different kinds of frozen yogurt, sorbets, and organic-free and fat-free, soy-based, etc. Combination of different types of ice creams. But it's out of all the different times that we had ice cream at Tel Aviv, I think this was our most favorite. So I think it's definitely worth a visit. So we had dinner at a place called Hamitbahon. It's basically traditional Jewish food, but it's got influence from Eastern Europe and North Africa, etc. Really nice homemade food, great vibe, great food, and great service. We really enjoyed the food there. I think it was more about the atmosphere and being among the locals and trying the traditional food. So we had breakfast at this place called Da Da Da. It's located under the French Institute in Tel Aviv. It's a very chic atmosphere and good vibe, accompanied by the upbeat music, and a very stylish place. And it's got seating outside, lining the street, as well as a huge seating area inside. They've got a really awesome variety of food, lots of brunch options. They're more of an all-day breakfast/brunch place. So we visited this place called Fairouz Cafe. It's in Jaffa, and it's an authentic Arabic cafe / restaurant place, open for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So as I said, we had lunch there. The prices are slightly pricey, but the food was good and the service was good as well. So definitely a nice place to visit if you're in the Jaffa area and pass by this place. I would also recommend trying the naf dessert, which was excellent with coffee. We drove down with our rented car to Palmahim Beach, which is about half an hour from Tel Aviv center. It's one of the secret treasures. It's very popular with locals, so if you want to get away from touristic beaches around Tel Aviv, this is one of the highly recommended places. It's not the biggest beach, but they do have plenty of facilities, including a lifeguard, toilets, a few little cafes serving hot food and drinks. And it's very beautiful. You've got stunning low cliffs to the south and a picturesque view of Tel Aviv. They've got parking there, so if you are hiring a car, this is a great place to drive down and visit. And it's also a national park next to the beach, so I think it's definitely a place to visit, and there's plenty of room for beach sports and also to find a quiet spot in the sandy spot. We had a fantastic dinner at this restaurant called M25 in Carmel Market. It's a carnivore's paradise. It's located about 25 meters from its parent butcher shop called the Meat Market. And it's the kind of place meat lovers dream about. It's run by this renowned chef and culinary advisor, Yaron Kestenbaum. And basically you can choose to sit at a table in a small adjoining outer courtyard or inside facing a large open kitchen where you can watch the sous chefs having a ball preparing some enticing meat dishes. After a couple of cocktails, we made our way to the corner counter where we chose our own cut of meat, which they cooked to your liking. And the options include sirloin, entrecote, prime rib, and a variety of kebabs. So we chose loin steak and T-bone steak, and it was cooked perfectly, and it was tender and delicious. Dark and charred on the outside, red and juicy on the inside.